everyone, today we're reading Geronimo Stilton, The Trip to the Niagara Falls. The man who made them famous was Louis Hennepin, a Belgian monk who was part of an expedition organized by the French explorer René Robert Cavalier, Signor de la Selle. The expedition at the falls in December 1678, and its members were memorized by their size and grandeur. Tomato. At that time, the falls had a drop in level of more than 590 feet and carried twice as much water as they do now. The first tourism was slow to arrive. One of the first important visits occurred in 1791, when the Duke of Kent, father of the future Queen Victoria of England, stayed at the only building in the area, a small wooden hut. The first groups of tourists began arriving during the mid-80s. The falls continued to attract important guests, such as Jerome Bonaparte, brother of the famous Napoleon. I think all of us guessed it. He came from New Orleans on his honeymoon. From the moment on, Niagara Falls became a popular destination for couples on their honeymoon. Oh my God. Everyone except me. Just before our plane landed, the captain made an announcement. Attention, worlders, we are now passing over the famous Niagara Falls. Take a look out your window if you would like to see the truly spectacular view of the falls, he advised. Everyone wanted to see the falls. Everyone leaped to the window. Everyone saw the spectacular view. Except me. I was being suffocated by a throng of screaming, jumping mouselets. They had pressed themselves up against my window. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't see a thing. Actually, he could see and he could breathe. Don't worry. Finally, the plane landed. We were in Toronto, Canada. From there, we climbed on a bus. We rode on the bus for about an hour and a half. Then we arrived at the falls. As we pulled up, the driver made an announcement. We have now reached the famous Niagara Falls. Look out your window if you would like to see a truly spectacular view of the falls, he said. Look at the falls. Everyone wanted to see the falls. Everyone leaped to the window. Everyone saw the spectacular view, except me. A throng of screaming mouselets crawling all over me. They plastered themselves up against my window. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't see a thing. The bus stopped. I got off. The roaring sound of the falls was incredible. I tried to take a picture. Everyone wanted to take a picture of the falls. Everyone got his or her camera ready. Everyone snapped away at the falls. Except me. Oh, if only I could get away from all those screaming mouselets. They were all over me. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't see a thing. The bus took us to the city of Niagara Falls on the lake. It was already dark. I did not know how to set up a tent. What a day. I was tired. I was hungry. I stumbled off the bus. I couldn't wait to sink into a nice soft bed. A bed. At a campsite. You're joking, right? I couldn't wait to put on my fluffy cat's fur slippers. Are those 4 cats or made of cats? Is the hotel nearby? I yawned. I'm pooped. Miss Angel Paws looked shocked. Hotel? What, Mr. Geronimo? We have come to enjoy the great outdoors. We're not going to a hotel. We're going to a camp out, she squeaked. My eyes opened wide. It's like coffee in the middle of the night. In 3 hours. I looked round. Miss Angel Paws wasn't joking. We were standing in the middle of the wilderness. Did I mention I'm not much of an outdoor mouse? Yes. Who's going to set up the tents? I stammered. Miss Angel Paws rolled her eyes. Of course you are, Mr. Geronimo, she said. I made a quick calculation. There were 24 of us. Each tent would hold 4 mice. That's a lot of tents. That meant I had to set up 6 tents for the little mice. Then we would need 1 tent for me and 1 for Miss Angel Paws. Plus we needed 1 big tent for all of us to eat breakfast in. Holy cheese, I couldn't set up 9 tents. Actually, the breakfast part is a little bit overrated because you can have breakfast in the wilderness. Just then, the little mice began whining. Come on, we're tired. I couldn't make heads or tails of the tents. I don't know how to set up a tent. Here goes nothing. This goes here, or does it go there? Yeah! Ouch! Help! Get me out! I set up 1 tent inside out. I zipped myself up in another and couldn't get out. Then I whacked my paw with a hammer. I give up! I screeched. Did I mention I'm not much of an outdoor mouse? I sat down on a rock. I took off my glasses so I could sob freely. Help! I can't do this. Just then, my nephew Benjamin whispered in my ear. Call Aunt Thea. She always knows what to do, he suggested. I dried my tears. Good idea, I agreed. I guess you could say that my sister Thea is the opposite of me. She loves a challenge. A half an hour later, I talked to Thea on the phone. All of the tents were ready. Hooray! Yelled the little mice. Isn't it great sleeping in a tent, Mr. Geronimo? Miss Angel Paws said. How to set up a tent. Lay the tent flat and stake the corners. Assemble the frame by connecting the poles and hook to the tent to the frame. 3. Pull the lateral ropes and stabilize the tent by staking the ropes. Mount the rain trap tarp and attach it well with the stakes. Drain ditch for water runoff. Where to set up a tent? Like this? No. Like this? No. Like this? No. Like this? Yes. I did not know how to cook at a campsite. I was so tired I could only nod when I heard a low grumble. Was it a bear? Was it a fox? Was it a ravenous rodent-eating monster? No, it was just my tummy. I was starving. So who will do the cooking, I asked. Well, you will, of course, Mr. Geronimo, Miss Angel Paws said. The little mice began screaming. Come on, we're starving! They whined. I sighed. I trudged to the brook to get some water. But back on the way, I tripped. The water flew out of the bucket. I decided to get the fire started, but the wood was too damp. It would not light. I went to get some more wood and accidentally stepped on an egg carton. Crunch. When I noticed an army of ants. They were devouring all of our bread. I give up, I squeaked. Did I mention I'm not much of an outdoor mouse? Try calling Auntie again, Benjamin whispered. She'll know what to do. Half an hour later, the fire was ready. Now, if I could just get the ants off the bread. How to cook outdoors. Before you light a fire, find the wind's direction. Always be aware of the danger of fires. Keep a bucket of water nearby to put out the fire. Always get help from an adult. Bind 3 wooden poles together. Then hang a pot on a chain that is secured at the top of the poles. That's tripod. Flat rocks. Arrange several clean flat rocks so they are heated by a fire underneath. You can cook eggs, fish, or meat on top of them. Forks. Arrange 2 forked sticks across from each other on either side of the fire. Hang the posts on a strong piece of wood and then place each end on the wood in forks. Never leave fires untouched. Come on, we have to go. Come on, we have to go. After we ate, I fell asleep with my snout in a plate. I woke up with a start. Psst, psst, Mr. Geronimo, a voice called. It was Miss Angel Paws. Mr. Geronimo, you forgot to set up a bathroom, she whispered. I paled. Bathroom? Come on, we have to go, the little mice squeaked. This time, I knew exactly what to do. I called my sister. I wasn't proud. I was desperate. After all, who knew how to set up a bathroom outdoors? Of course my sister figured it out. Half an hour later, the bathroom was finished. And so was I. I crawled into my sleeping bag and slept like a 10-ton brick of stale cheese. Even a starving mouse couldn't have moved me. Wow. So nice. What a stink, what a smell, what a stench. I woke up in the middle of the night. An awful stench surrounded me. It smelled worse than my cousin's trap of rancid fish soap. It smelled worse than my grandmother's one-whisker's disgusting Brussels sprout souffle. I opened my eyes. A black and white furry creature with 2 beady little eyes stared back at me. I jumped out of my sleeping bag, squeaking at the top of my lungs. Flashlights snapped on all over the campsite. What a stink! What a smell! What a stench! I heard the other campers cry. I couldn't have agreed more. I started to chime in when I heard some more voices. Where is it coming from? One said. That tent there, another answered. That rodent from New Mouse City, the one named Geronimo Stilton, they cried. He really needs to clean up his act. Someone else piped. Yeah, I wonder if he knows what the word bath means, another muttered. That's the end of this chapters. Like if you liked, subscribe if you liked even more.